Hey, welcome to the First Layer. My name's Richard Cleveland, and that guy over there is not Brian Baker. That is the master of all things filament, Mr. Amon Baines from Matter 3D. He's going to join us to answer your questions about filament today. So the regular questions that we got this week, we're just going to hang on to them for another week, or we'll call you. I know Pierre's in the chat. I left you a message on your cell phone today, Pierre, so if you wouldn't mind, go and check that, and we can talk later about the questions that you have. Other than that, welcome. Let's go over to the right screen here. There we go. Now we can really see Amon. How are things out in Victoria?
Very good. Nice and sunny today. So, the West Coast weather's cooperating.
For once.
Yes. It's not, the miserable rain.
So we've got quite a few people already in our chat this afternoon. We've got a couple of new members. I want to just run our little scroll here. There we go. Jerry's welcoming everybody. How's it printing? I like that. It's better than how's it hanging. So we've got a few new members this week. Thank you for joining our membership. It goes a long way to helping us out. RT is sending me a glass of beer. I always like that. So, Amon, let's talk a little bit about Matter 3D. What is Matter 3D?
Matter 3D was started last year by my wife and I. We started it when COVID started, and our initial goal, and our goal has always been, is to re-domesticate supply lines from overseas back to North America. And one of the ways that we thought we can really help with that is with 3D printing. We both think that 3D printing is the future, and providing materials that are made domestically by domestic companies, I think, is a really important stepping stone for the growth of the industry here. And since both my wife and I are both material scientists, and we both love 3D printing, we thought, hey, why not make materials? And really try to help the hobbyist around here and really raise the floor for what's available right now. Because as everyone here knows, 3D printing and materials is kind of the Wild West.
It is. Let's talk about what sets Matter 3D filament apart from other filaments that are on the market today.
Well, the biggest difference is our quality.
Okay.
We only source the highest quality materials. They're all sourced from North America, and we make them ourselves. So we bring in the raw resin into our factory here in Victoria, and our business partner Gerdeman and I, we literally extrude it into filament ourselves. I inspect every single roll that goes out, same with Gerdeman, and it's really the quality control and the customer service. If you're having problems 3D printing, you can give us a call on our toll-free number, and literally most of the time I will pick up, or Gerdeman, or my wife Stephanie, and if you have any problems, any requirements, any questions, you can ask us, and that's really the main difference.
Now, while we've got some people in our chat room today, we are going to go into our members, and we are shipping some free stuff out from Matter 3D for people to try. And we're going to start with our members today. We're going to pick one name from our members. I'm going to let Jerry over in the corner pick the name because she's monitoring the chat today. So, for our members, what is the most important part of your 3D printer? There's your question for our members only. What is the most important part of your 3D printer? And we've talked about this before, so it should come up in the answers right away. Jerry will put the correct answer up on Accord XTC, the first layer. That's always a good one. That's the most important part of your print, but of your... Rex Waldy, you have got it. Bed leveling is the most important part of printing or using your 3D printer. You're right. We talk a lot about bed leveling on this show. And Rex Waldy, you're going to send me an email with your address and all of the necessary information, and we will get a roll of
Black PLA.
black PLA coming your way. So we're going to give 2 more rolls away later on in the show, and for now, let's get back into talking a little bit more about your background as a material scientist and what that is different from most of the other representative companies out there that are there selling filament. So, material science, what is it?
Well, my expertise is in plastics. Everything plastics.
Okay.
I know how to make plastics from scratch. I know how to process them. I know how they work, what their unique properties are, and how to exploit them so that we can pull the best out of them for our applications in 3D printing. May that be, making little chess pieces at home or end-use parts. So in doing that, what that allows me to do is my background allows me to find materials out there that aren't being utilized or underutilized in 3D printing just because someone doesn't know about them or they're a little bit expensive to process, and bring those out and really help the 3D printing market.
Gotcha.
Be the hobbyist, be it industrial. We are working with companies that have the big industrial printers like Fortis and Stratasys and 3D Carbon, and we want to bring the materials that they use and help the hobbyist at home, and
Gotcha.
that's what really allows my background to do.
Very cool. Now, you've only got a couple of things on the website right now, and for anybody that doesn't know, that is matter3d.com. Jerry's going to put that in the chat if she can.
What am I putting in the chat?
matter3d.com.
Oh, over here.
Yeah. So she's going to
Sorry,
put that
I'm
in
on
the
the
chat
remix
so
and
people
then-
can go and check out your website.
Just messed up.
Now, we've got a couple things going on. If you are looking to get some filament or try it out, you don't win a roll today, but you want to try it out, you can go and get 10% off by using the code TFL10 at checkout. That's capital T FL10 at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your order, correct?
Yeah, and also we have quite a comprehensive shipping policy. So if you're in the U.S., we have 2 to 3 day shipping. So meaning if you buy today, it'll be there by Wednesday for a flat rate of $15.49. So if you buy 1 roll or 10, it just costs you $15.49, and it's shipped to anywhere in the continental U.S. And if you're in Canada, we have varying rates between $5 all the way down all the way up to 20, depending where you are. It's a pretty big country.
Yeah. A pretty big country, that's for sure. Hey, Cord XTC, welcome to Infill. That's Cord has been a member for a while, and now he's just bumped up to Infill. Look at that. All right, so let's talk about the composition of material, because a lot of people don't understand how filament is actually made. I know we don't have any video on how it's made, but we're going to get there when we do your grand opening, and I'm going all the way to Victoria to help you out with that.
Yeah, the first week of April.
First week of April, there you go.
Yeah.
So, how is material made, and what typically sets a premium product like Performance PLA above other products, such as the Arions and the Amazon Basics of the world?
So the biggest difference is how it's processed.
Okay.
Our material is brought in directly from the manufacturer. We don't cut it with anything. We heat it to make sure all the water is taken out, so it's completely dry, and then we put it through our extruder. So the material comes as tiny little pellets like grains of sand, and we put it through the extruder, which heats it and puts it through a screw, and it makes it into a long, thin filament. And we do that above the melting temperature. And the biggest difference between our materials, like I said, is that we don't cut our materials. They are 99.9% pure, and the only reason why they're the 0.1% not pure is because we put in a little bit of color to get the different shades.
Gotcha.
So black, white, gray, blue, whatever you want, that's the 0.1%, but the rest of it is pure. And it's hard for me to say exactly what other manufacturers do, but I know based off pricing and I know based off using their materials that they're not pure. And one of the ways you can tell that is by the melting point. So if you can print a material at a lower melting point, let's say PLA is generally around 200, you go down to 180, 190, you know that you have an impure material. The higher the melting point, the true melting point for PLA is between 200 and 210. And if you're printing there, then you know you have a really good material. And it just sounds different.
Gary T says, I ordered Sunday and it arrived in Calgary Wednesday afternoon. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. We love to hear that. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you've got for offerings right now. Because you're new, you've got black, white, and transparent.
Yes, the natural.
PLA. Or natural. I should say natural. I always say transparent. I don't know why. So you've got natural. Then on the ABS side, you've got black and white. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got 5 to choose from right now. And you were mentioning colors earlier, and that's going to lead me into my next question. Are you opening up your line to other colors as the demand increases?
Yes, absolutely. So definitely for the PLA line, we want to start adding in some blue, some green, some primary colors, just as we get going here. Like
Sure.
we had our soft start earlier this month, last week actually, and our grand opening is in April. And we're a small family-owned business, so as we start growing, our next, as we get more and more support from the community, our next steps is to cater to the community. And one of the things that we know is that they definitely like different colors. So, you know, one of the things we were talking to you about is getting your purple Pantone up.
Yes.
So
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Rex says he sent me an email. Great. So we've got one going out to Rex. We're going to do another draw here about midway through the show. So hang on tight. We've got 2 more rolls to give away. So you definitely want to be here for that. And it's all going to be question based. So we're not going to get too hard on you. But it's all going to be stuff that we've covered in the show.
It's all open book.
Yeah, it's all open book. Or open video in this case. So what led you to actually getting into this? Because you guys started doing just printing. You were a printing service in the beginning, correct?
Yeah, so we started with 3D printing only. The goal has always been to domesticate manufacturing and supply lines, and one of the ways to do that is by on-demand manufacturing, 3D printing. But what we quickly realized was that we don't really bring anything new to the field. There's nothing that we do that really makes us stand out. So we very quickly transitioned into the material side, because that is something we definitely bring something new and unique to, and that is something that we can help change the industry with. And gotcha. That's why we switched over from the service bureau side to the filament side and the manufacturing of different materials.
Now, you are the first of its kind in Canada as far as a full-blown manufacturing of filament, correct?
Yeah, so there are a couple of companies on the East Coast that specialize in single materials. There's one in Quebec that does that. But we are one of the only, if not the only, materials manufacturer in Canada, definitely on the West Coast, that specializes in all sorts of materials. Right now,
we got ourselves a super chat from Mr. Rex Waldy. He says, "Thanks, Richard and Amon. Thank you for the super chat. We always do appreciate that."
Yeah. So I kind of got thrown off track there, but
Sorry, it's new to the super chat.
That's okay. Yeah, no, so I kind of forget what we were talking about.
we were talking about why you got into the material from the actual...
Yeah. So, because we bring something new. And we are one of the only companies on the West Coast, if not the only company that makes 3D printing filament. Currently, we provide PLA and ABS, but very quickly here, we're moving over to PETG as well, carbon fiber materials. All within the next 3 to 4 months, we will be starting to extrude all those as well.
Nice, nice. Now,
Oh,
as a small business, because you're still a small business, what
Oh, yeah.
is the plan for Matter 3D going forward? How many lines are you looking to have by the end of the year?
So right now we have one high-speed extrusion line.
Right?
At the end of the year, our goal is to double that to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of 2022, we want to get to 4.
Gotcha.
We have a very ambitious plan. We really want to make a difference with our quality. I think our quality will speak for itself. We're not advertising anywhere. We're just going through. You are one of the people that we have partnered up with. We have no other types of advertising. We really want to build through word of mouth and high grade materials. That is something I can promise. When you open up a Filament of 3D Matter 3D material, you know you have high quality. It
Gotcha.
just looks like that.
I have we've been using your stuff since December, late December. We started using some of your ABS, and we've moved on to using your PLA because that's mostly what we print here. And most people out there, as a hobbyist, are going to use PLA over ABS. They're probably going to use PETG. There's
Yes.
Pure Life. You finally made it. Yeah, so with that being said, as your lines and your colors grow, the quality, of course, is not going to change. Now, we've talked a little bit about tracing between you and I and Brian.
Yes.
How are you tackling the tracing of batches? Because I know that seems to be important to some people. Like if they get 5 rolls and for whatever reason one of them doesn't work out to their satisfaction, they can look at a batch code and give you a call and let you know that there might have been something wrong in that batch.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 2 types of tracing. Every single batch that you get now will have a batch number on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the batch number corresponds to when the material was made and who
Right.
it was made by and what day it was made. And furthermore, each material will also come with its own data sheet that has its unique code on it.
Oh.
Then that code will be traceable to see the cylindricity of the material and its tolerance. And you can
there you
go
go.
back and see you can see the real data. And we will start presenting that online by our grand opening day.
Excellent, excellent. Now, the other thing that we talked about was your PLA is not like anybody else's because it's, first of all, FDA approved.
Yes.
And what does FDA approval mean?
So our material is approved for food and beverage use.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it and use it for containers. It's also approved for medical use. So we have a partner out on the East Coast that uses it for prosthetics. He's a vet, and he uses 3D printed prosthetics for dogs and cats that come into his clinic. And because our material is FDA approved, he feels very comfortable using it for those applications.
Gotcha. Now, there's a question here. Snapshot FPV says, does the higher purity also mean a higher glass transition temp?
Oh, that's a really good question.
That is.
Glass transition temperature is different from melting point. So a melting point is a phase change. So you're going from a solid to a liquid or to a gas or vice
Right.
versa. A glass transition temperature is not the same sort of change. So in plastics, when you increase temperature, the actual polymer, think of it as spaghetti, will start to move and have free volume to move around in.
Okay.
And as you go through the temperature range, that energy into the polymer increases so that the material starts to flow, and that's called the glass transition temperature. It's not generally a static temperature; it's a range. And
Okay.
yes, the higher your purity, the higher the glass transition temperature, and also the sharper the change. So, for example, a low purity material will have a glass transition temperature between, let's say for PLA, between 55 and 60 degrees,
Right.
whereas a high purity material will be between 59 and 60 degrees, or 60 and 61 degrees.
Gotcha.
So it's a much sharper change.
That makes a lot of sense. The Sinzeka, I always get this one wrong. I will order some of your ABS. Do you sell spools larger than 1 kilogram? That's a great
Yes,
question.
actually, Starting next week, we will offer 5 kilo spools for our PLA and our ABS. I hadn't mentioned that to anyone yet, but that's a really good question. And yes, absolutely, we're starting that next week.
There you go. Now, let's talk about a little bit about what this material is. Now, we've already discussed that it's FDA approved, which means it's approved for medical use and food storage. Secondly, let's talk about the temperature of this stuff, because as you know, we do temperature towers around here all the time, and I always recommend that people do one of these, because at the end of the day, if you don't do one of these, you've got nobody to blame but yourself if your print fails using the Matter 3D, or any filament for that matter. I usually find that over time, that the more that you use a product, the more you understand it. But to get on the right road, this is a necessity. And we're designing one of these specially for your materials to show a little bit clearer how well that they do at different temperatures. Now, I know myself, I print your white right around 215, 220 on a 65 degree or 70 degree bed, depending on what surface it is. And I find that works out really, really well. Now, when I use other materials, of course, I have a lower bed temperature, and of course, my nozzle temperature is lower, and that's because of what you were talking about, the impurities in different materials.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The other place you will see a big difference in our PLA is on the higher side with respect to it melting or deforming. So our PLA, without any annealing, can withstand temperatures between 75 and 80 degrees, whereas normal, typical PLA will melt in your car on the dashboard at 50 to 60 degrees. Our PLA won't do that. And if you want even higher temperature, you can anneal it, and you literally do that by throwing it into some boiling water for half an hour. And now it'll withstand temperatures up to 90 degrees. And its hardness and its impact resistance will be greater than that of typical ABS.
There you go. So not only are you paying for a good quality material, but you're also paying for the durability that it will offer you down the road, whether you're making parts, whether you're making figures like we've done here many times. It doesn't really matter. You're going to get that strength and that long-lasting durability out of a plastic, especially a PLA, and that's usually the toughest thing to get a good run from. Gary T says, only one thing I noticed is the Matter 3D spools are wider than others. It doesn't quite fit on my Mingda. I have the same problem. Mingda's thing is just a little too short.
Yeah, so we have a workaround for that, actually. Starting in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be presenting, but you will be able to buy our material for a master spool. So we won't be including the plastic injection molded spools, but we'll be putting them into just zip-tied rolls that you can then use your own spools at home. So that spool that we have made is a little bit narrower. So if you have a problem with it quite fitting, maybe that's an avenue that you can use.
There you go. All right, so we said we were going to talk about how you can drill into this stuff and how machinable it can be. Now you've got some parts there.
Yeah, so actually, to demonstrate how small and new a company we are, we had designed our own pelletizer, and we made it out of our PLA material, and we used it to drill with a drill into so we can screw it together. And this material just does not break apart. This has been screwed in with a high-speed drill to make room for the pellet kits. And the middle here is where we had the socket, and this was rotating and having temperatures of greater than 120 degrees. We measured it, and it didn't melt the material. And I just wanted to show you guys how hard this stuff really is. There is quite a difference in materials out there, and without trying it, without showing you, it's hard to come across that. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how good this stuff really is.
Do the rolls come in reusable bags? No, not yet.
Currently not. starting after our grand opening. As you know, like I said, we are small, and as we get more and more support, we are going to start putting in a resealable bag with all of our orders. So with the desiccant and the resealable bag, after, in between prints, you can put it in there and keep it water free.
There you go. Are you doing international postage? I'm in the UK. This is from Prop 3D, Prince of Print Craig.
Yes, actually. So we have shipping to the UK, very much like the US, where it's a flat rate. You buy one roll or you buy 10, 20, it doesn't matter. It's $18.99 US, and it's 3 to 4 day shipping. So if you buy on Monday, you'll get it by Thursday.
There you go.
So
So
in the UK.
here we have a drill, a nice big drill. I can't show you the name because then they call it product placement, and then I get demonetized. I'm going to switch to the overhead camera here. All right, there we are. All right, so now we're going to take the drill, get all that dust off of it, and we're going to drill right into the side of this. Now, taking a look at that hole, you can see there's been literally no real melting, just the fluff that comes off. And you guys know, that's pretty warm. The tip of that drill is pretty warm. So that actually does do a really nice job of tooling. So you can drill into this stuff. We just proved it to you. I know all that noise.
No, Gerdeman's taken a saw to it, and we've sawed it in half, and we've used a nail gun. We've nailed into it, and it just doesn't split. The interlayer adhesion is so high that it just doesn't split, and it's quite amazing, actually.
Yeah, there's no split in that whatsoever. I'm looking at that now. There's no split in there whatsoever. So there you go. I lost an ear. Okay. Question from Pierre. He says, to confirm if FDA approved is in medical environment, this means it's not absorbent. That's his question.
I don't know 100% about that. I don't want to give out false information. So I can look into that for Pierre. And if Pierre can send an email or an email address, I can get back to them for sure.
There we go. All right. Oh, I think I just canceled one on Jerry. She had another one there. Just bought some natural. Curious about printing it in vase mode. You can print it in vase mode. Scarecrow, we know that because Brian's done it in vase mode.
It's really pretty.
It's very pretty. I've got some natural here, which I haven't printed in vase mode. I did a little tower, which you can now find on the Matter 3D website under some of their stuff. Speaking of which, before we give away another roll of filament, let's ask about the natural. My brain is going off rails here right now because I'm looking at 6 different things at the same time.
This is my first time ever doing this, and this is quite overwhelming.
It is. You should see it from my end.
And he doesn't do it all. I'm sitting at the other computer.
That's right. She's sitting at the other computer. So I want to again thank all of our members. This is usually the time where I say, hey, if you're not a member and you're not subscribed, you got to do that. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little bell so you get notified every time we do a brand new episode, when we're going live, and all that other kind of nice stuff. Now, that being said, we've talked about it can be tooled. We've talked about the strength of the material. Let's talk about the price real quick. So PLA is how much?
We sell it for $29.99 a kilo.
In Canada?
In Canada, yes.
Okay. So good quality product at a good price. I know you can find other materials out there for less. I've got a video coming up for our members all about the material and why it's not always the best bet to order in cheap filaments. You may want to step up your game if you're looking for something that has a ways or has that needs to be printed in a much better material. I'm finding now with printing some of the figure stuff that I do in FDM to be incredibly stronger than a lot of the other stuff that I've used. I may actually reprint some of the stuff behind me in this new filament as well. So let's give one away. Go ahead.
I quickly add, yes, it might seem expensive compared to some of the materials you can get from overseas, but the context is important. So our materials is equivalent to what 3D Fuel sells, their professional series. Protopasta, all their filament. Our filament is exactly the same stuff, but for about $10 to $15 cheaper, depending on where you look.
Gotcha. So let's give one away. Oh, there's Henry Stofferin is asking U.S. price.
It's the same. It's $29.99.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're in Europe, it's still $29.99.
All right. So across the board, it's $29.99. The only thing that changes is your shipping price. So the more you order, the less your shipping becomes per package. Think about that.
And in the US, if you buy over $200 worth of stuff, you get free shipping. And in Canada, if it's over $125, you get free shipping.
There you go. Okay, so let's give another roll away. What color are we going to give away?
We have we gave away a black, but we can give away a natural as well.
Okay, let's give away a natural. And the question is, what tool did I demonstrate many times in many videos to clean your nozzle? What was the tool that I used to clean your nozzle? And I've got one right here.
Don't
Somewhere.
show it yet.
I'm not going to show it. I've got one here somewhere. I had one here. How you tell I'm not prepared?
A cord.
Oh,
I think I got it.
Jerry says she thinks she's got it. Accord XTC. Brass brush, you are correct. Brass brush was the first one. And that is going to Ben Brady says acupuncture needle, wire brush, Henry Stofferin. Accord XTC. It is a brass brush, and you will have to send me all of your details, and I will put that, Richard. I'll put that email address. There it is. Just use that email address, send me all of your digits, including your phone number, and we will get that roll of natural out to you. So, we've got strong ABS, we've got strong PLA. Let's talk a little bit about your ABS right now.
Yeah, I was just answering some questions on your chat. This is a lot of fun.
It gets very overwhelming very fast.
Yeah.
I like how Accord XTC said that. Be rash brush. That's kind of neat. There we go. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the ABS. Now, ABS is a product that I've used and many hobbyists use from time to time. Now, your ABS is a little different. See, I print ABS. Your ABS is a little different in the fact that we can print this on a open air printer with a little bit of modification to the way that we print, correct?
Yes, so we've had a lot of success printing small parts, less than 1,000 cubic millimeters, with an open air printer, a Prusa, an Ender, with our ABS. And the way we do that is we have a temperature gradient while we're printing. So the first half dozen layers will print really hot, around 270, greater than 260 degrees centigrade. Mm-hmm. And then we'll start tapering it down. So the next 2 or 3 layers, we'll do it around 250, 255, and then we'll finish the print at around 230.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is to change or to decrease the delta change in the temperature so that it doesn't warp. And the material itself, go ahead.
Now, the other thing people should be aware of, that if they are going to print it on an open air printer, it is advisable to do a draft shield around your print, correct?
Yes, yes. And also, even though it is very low toxicity, so you can print it without an enclosure, it is still recommended to have good ventilation.
Okay. So there you go. That's now I'm going to show off some black PLA here. Let me just cut to this.
ABS.
This is the ABS. Yes, this is the ABS. This is the matte black ABS. This was printed on an open air printer. This was printed on the Ender 3. And we did a draft shield around it. And of course it was stuck to the bed, so you can still see the glue residue on the back. But this is the NASA 3-in-1B space wrench. So you can hear that little, that's the ratcheting action on the space wrench. So if you're looking for a good quality ABS, now what is the price difference between ABS and PLA?
So our ABS sells for $39.99 a kilo. It's FDA approved as well. It has that matte finish. It has a high temperature distortion rate, a high distortion temperature, above 95 centigrade, and it's also annealable. So again, if you boil this one in water, you can increase its impact resistance quite a bit.
There you go. Let's see what we've got for any questions here.
Okay, I'll go back.
Jerry's got to find a question every once in a while. Here we go. Daryl Watts, since you said it's FDA approved, so it is food safe to use as maybe to make drinking glasses?
Yes, actually we have a partner in the Okanagan that uses it to make cutlery.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, Gary T's asking, do they have ABS print recommendations online? I was waiting to finish my enclosure before trying.
We don't have anything online yet. We are filling in this content right now. Actually, I'm writing that white paper as we speak. But if Gary can, I think I have Gary's email. I will, if he's interested, I can send him some recommendations for some print temperatures that he can use before his enclosure is up.
Yeah, Gary, you can also contact me. Gary's right here in Calgary. I know him quite well. Gary, you know how to get a hold of me. You can contact me as well. I've been using the white and the black ABS for a while now, so really good stuff. Watched your vid on proper bed leveling because I was having bed adhesion problems. You saved me $700 because I was able to return a new printer I bought and fix my old one. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome. That's what we're here for. Can your ABS still be vapor smoothed? There's a good question.
Yes, absolutely. We actually even sell the acetone. It's not available online yet. So, but if you want some, you can send me a personal message, and we can ship that out to you. But yeah, it vapor smooths really well. With the matte finish, it has absolutely no layer lines. If you do a pretty good job with it, it's hard to tell between an injection molded part and a 3D printed ABS part.
There you go. There's another question here from the Hawks.
Oh, hey.
Oh, Jerry's trying to find it. There we go. He says, the filament is food safe. What modifications do you need to do to the printer, or do you?
So the filament is food safe, and the actual manufacturing to make sure that's food safe comes down to the end user. So yes, if you are going to be using it to make cutlery or things that you would be using it when it comes in contact with food and beverage, yeah, I would definitely make sure my printer is clean. You know, use some isopropanol to disinfect it and stuff like that for sure.
Okay.
Or conversely, after the print is made, you can dip it into some isopropanol to disinfect it that way too.
There you go. Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about on this show, speaking of food safe stuff, is we've talked about the fact that once it goes through the extruder, those properties or that claim of food safe kind of goes out the window, because now you're introducing other materials that may be left over in your hot end. How does that affect your material?
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be at the mercy of what you have in it beforehand, right? What you
Okay.
have in your printer. So you have to clean it out. You can use a purge material, which we also sell. It's not on our website yet, but if you PM me, I can send that to you.
Okay.
And it's a polypropylene material that goes through your extruder, and it will absorb and it will attach itself to all the remnants of old materials inside in the hot end and pull them all out. So that's one way to clean your hot end. But the best way, of course, is to take it all apart and to disinfect it using different solvents.
Gotcha. So you need a fully cleaned out hot end before making parts for food use.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go.
The clients that we have in the Okanagan, they have their own separate printers for their food and cutlery manufacturing stuff.
Gotcha. And I've said that to our audience in the past, that once it goes through an already used hot end, usually your food safe properties are gone at that point. But if you're dedicating a printer just to printing FDA approved filament that is going to be used in food preparation or food storage or even food use, straws now are made from PLA because it's environmentally friendly.
Coffee lids?
Yeah, coffee lids. There you go. Now, let's talk a little bit about the length of time it takes for PLA to break down in the environment. There's been all kinds of wild claims that it takes 1,000 years, it takes 10,000 years, it takes 2 weeks, it takes 5 years. What from your data that you have based on the products that you use, what is a reasonable amount of time that people can expect for this to break down in the landfill?
Yeah, so PLA by its very nature is biodegradable. Now, biodegradable is a buzzword that's thrown around a lot. Doesn't really have very much meaning without a timeline attached to it. So PLA, it won't break down overnight. That's not a thing, but it also won't take 1,000 years. So polystyrene, which is a infamous material for not breaking down, will break down in about 1,000 years. So PLA is way better than that. But it still takes a long time, 10, 15, 20 years for sure. It will still take for it to completely break down into its original starting material.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So don't use this in your compost.
No.
Because I get that question a lot.
That's
Can
not
I use
a
it
thing.
for composting? No. Now you're also introducing another initiative. Before we wrap things up today, I want to talk a little bit about this. You're going to be introducing another initiative through recycling 3D printed parts, 3D printing material. How are you looking at handling that in the future?
Yeah, so we're very excited about this. Stephanie and I are starting a recycling initiative. We hope to start in April, but it probably will be May. We need a lot of support from our community to raise the funds to do this. But our goal is to close the loop in 3D printing. So if you have materials, failed prints, anything along those lines, old prints that you don't need anymore, we intend to start setting up consolidation points in different cities around North America, where we take in your old prints, grind them down, ship them back into our facility here, and remake filament and sell it again.
There you go. So that's actually a really good initiative. I mean, there's nobody in Canada doing that right now, and I know that the government doesn't really understand how to handle the new materials that we use as hobbyists, such as PLA, ABS, and PETG, among others. They don't know how to handle it in a recycling facility. So how are you trying to take that recycling and bring it back in-house so that you can make new product from it?
So the biggest challenge with recycling plastics is sorting them. Is to be able to tell the difference between polypropylene, polystyrene, and PLA. By just looking at it, it is almost impossible to do that. And doing it on a large scale that the municipal recycling departments do is just not feasible. However, if you start on the smaller side and you work with hobbyists that know what they're doing, we can start collecting material and sorting it right at the source.
Okay.
instead of doing it back in our facility here, where it would be impossible. But if you're coming in and we have different bins set up, and you're putting your material into the bins then and sorting it right at the source, it makes it a lot easier for us on our end. And
Gotcha.
then that allows us to bring it in. We do a little bit of sorting on our side, but just on on the whole, like little things here and there. And we use solvent to melt it all down, and we grind it up, and then we make it into pellets, and we put it through our extruder and extrude it again.
Now, when you're doing that, because it's already got color bases in it and that sort of thing, and I know this is a future endeavor for you as the company grows, but with that in mind, are you going to introduce then what we call an econofill? Will this be one of those plastics that has a certain amount of old material and new material in it?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think econofill might be a brand, but
Right.
our material will be recycled. It'll be a darker shade because it'll have a whole bunch of different colors in it.
Gotcha.
And it will be upgraded with our raw material to make sure it still has the properties that are desirable for 3D printing.
Excellent. All right, Richard, is the PLA Plus material, is it also body safe? Body safe. I'm not sure what do you mean? Do you want to make prosthetics out of it? Because if that's what you want to do, you can certainly do that with their PLA for sure. You can also do it with the ABS.
Yeah.
So hopefully that it answers your question. I'm not quite understanding what you mean by body safe. If you want to make prosthetics out of it or cosplay items, you can certainly do that. Currently, we're printing a studio scale X-Wing for our May the 4th episode, which we're going to have a lot of fun with, by the way. And you're going to start printing a very big product as well for your showroom, are you not?
Yeah, so I wanted to, because we have some pretty big printers here at our facility, and we wanted to use the PLA to make an R2, like a life-size R2-D2.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got not the Rays, you've got the other manufacturer.
We got the Modex, big
the Modex,
60s.
that's right. There you go.
Cubic feet of printing space.
Daryl Watts is saying, looking at making like prosthetic teeth and stuff like that. I don't know if I would put it in my mouth.
Yeah, I would not recommend that.
Yeah, it's not really meant for doing false teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say there's dentists that use SLA printers, and there's biosafe SLA resins that you can use. But I would not use FDM materials for that.
So RT is asking, what are the different colors? They are black, white, and natural, or clear, depending on your point of view, or transparent, depending on your point of view. But those are the three AB or PLA colors that Matter 3D is offering right now. They are going to grow the line, and more colors will be coming down the pipe soon, I believe.
Yes.
There you go. All right, so we're at 10:02. Let's do this real quick before I forget. We're going to run our members again, and let's give away your last roll of filament. So I guess this would be the white, right?
Yes.
We gave black, we gave natural, now we're going to give white. All right. So if you've already won, you can't win again. So Accord XTC, and I can't remember who else was the other one. But Rex I got Waldy. An email from him anyway.
Oh, Rex.
Rex Waldy.
Rex Waldy. There we go. You guys can't win again. So let's talk about the filament. We've been talking about filament all day. And I want to ask this question. It's not going to be a very hard question. What makes Matter 3D filament different from its competitors? And we talked about it, and there's only one real answer. So as soon as we get that, what makes Matter 3D filament different from other manufacturers? We'll wait for somebody. Non-fam right there. 99.9% pure material. He doesn't have to be a member.
Oh, I thought you have
No, he doesn't have to be a member. So non-fam got it right. 99.9% pure material. That's correct. So non-fam, you've got to send me all of your digits and your plate. Or I'm going to put my address here. There we go. So non-fam is our winner. Now we've given away 3. We've got some stickers that will be going your way as well. We've got some new stickers, as a matter of fact, but I'm not going to show them to you yet. So we got all of ours given away. Non-fam, just drop me all of your information, including your phone number, to the email that I just posted in the chat, and I will get all of this off to Amin as soon as they're all in, and you guys will get your material shipped out. Thanks for playing with us today, and thanks for sticking around. So, last but not least, what is the long-term goal for Matter 3D?
To provide materials to the hobbyists and the industrial print scene, as well as to innovate. We really want to move forward with what 3D printing and the materials that are available. We want to come up with high strength materials, conductive materials, metallic materials, glass materials. We have all these ideas and we have all viable ways to achieve them, but it's just one step at a time, and we're hoping that next year we can start coming out with our own proprietary materials. But what we really the goal is to domesticate supply lines and really facilitate growth of 3D printing in North America.
Excellent. Now, there is one more thing I want to ask our audience and you as well. First and foremost, if you didn't win a roll today, sorry, we only have so much to give away. But that's not all. If you go to the website and use TFL 10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order from Matter 3D.
Actually, I was looking. Sorry, it's TFL 10 exclamation mark.
TFL 10 exclamation point. Let's just put that in the chat
so that it's not confusing.
So this is your code. There we go. Amin just put it in there. All right. So we now have the code, and that is good until Monday or Sunday night?
Midnight tonight.
Midnight tonight. That's good till midnight tonight. We did put that out earlier. We are going to be doing some things with Matter 3D moving forward. We're going to be out in Victoria when they have their grand opening, so we're going to live stream on that day when we do that. So that'll be a special live stream that we do right from Victoria. I'll be on the road for once.
That's exciting.
Yay!
RT says he's happy to support Canadian businesses. I'll definitely order 2 spools of black PLA. So,
thank you, RT. Really appreciate that.
RT's
everyone.
Go ahead.
I was going to say everyone. Stephanie and I really appreciate it. The response has been overwhelming and very humbling, and we just look forward to being able to cater and to help everyone around here and provide materials that we're proud of.
And I'm going to put that matter3d.com is the website. Daryl Watts was asking. matter3d.com. Go and check it out. The rates are for 1 box or 10 boxes or 20 boxes. It doesn't matter. It's a flat rate shipping. So the more you order, the less the shipping appears to be for each individual box. So that's something to maybe think about. And now, with that said, we're in our last 5 minutes. I'm going to cut really quickly to this and let you guys know that if you have questions, I know we got questions this week. We only had a couple, but I am going to hold those over till next week because we really wanted to bring Amin on today and talk about Matter 3D Filament. I love this stuff. I've been using it now for a couple of months. I got to tell you, the quality, even when you're printing without an enclosure, is insane. This is actually the first time I tried to drill into the plastic. It's amazing. If you've got questions for the First Layer, send them to questions@thefirstlayer.com. We do go through them throughout the week, and we set them up for answering usually on Sunday afternoon. If you really need an answer before then, please put in urgent in the subject line so that we can really try and take care of you as best we can. Now, if you're not a member and you'd like to become a member, hit that join button down below. You'll always be able to find exactly what we have in our memberships and what level you might want to be at. There's a lot of great things there. We've got a Discord that Brian runs, and I'm very seldomly on because I have a lot of things to do in my day. Monday, I'm not even going to be in the studio when I should be. I'm going to be out in Airdrie training a client of mine on how to use his 3D printer. So I want to thank Amin Bains for joining us today, the co-founder and CEO of Matter 3D. It is a great filament. I can't say enough good things about it. As you can see, we're starting to get box collection up behind me. We are going to be using it more and more. Samples are available from Matter 3D. Alman, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if you send me an email at abains, A-B-A-I-N-S, I'll put it up on the chat here, at Matter 3D with your name and your address, we can send out some samples to you for sure. And I just want to say thank you very much for having us on.
Not a problem. You guys are always welcome.
I can't wait to do this again. I really want to maybe turn this into, if everyone's okay with it, a monthly thing where either Stephanie and I are on when we can answer some questions and really interact with the members.
Well, we're always here available for you, and I'm sure we're going to, as the product gets out to more and more people, I'm sure there's going to be questions. You guys can also send questions to me about the material. I've had quite a bit of time now to use it and play with it and try it out. I can answer some of your questions as well. You have a toll-free number for people to call if they have problems with your product?
Yeah, actually, it's a new number. It's an 833 number. I can find it right now. You kind of put me on the spot. It's 833-628-8373. Give it a call anytime. If you dial extension 1, more often than not, it's me that's picking up. So if you have any questions, need material, have any specific shipping questions, feel free to contact me at any time.
Okay, I'm going to put that code again in the chat. It's capital TFL 10 and an exclamation point. This is how you have to type it in if you're not getting the code to work. It's capital T, lowercase f, lowercase l, 10 exclamation point. That will get you 10% off your first order. And that should, a couple of people were saying that it wasn't working out very well because they were probably typing it in.
I will fix that for you guys. If you just bear with me here, I'm not sure why that was not working, but we'll get that up and running right away here. It should work with both. It should work with and without the exclamation mark. Okay,
there you go.
Yeah.
What is the free shipping amount for Canada? I believe it's $125.
Yeah, it's $125 for Canada and $200 for the United States.
There you go. All right, so go ahead and check out the Matter 3D website. We support them. We hope that you'll support them as well. They're a great new company here in Canada, and they're trying to make a difference for hobbyists and industrial use all throughout the country and around the world, and they're offering a great product, and I can't say enough good things about it. We are going to be back again with you on Tuesday. We've got a tip coming out for you, for our members on Tuesday. And then we will be back again with another look at a slicer this coming Saturday. So you definitely want to check that out. And as always, our members get early access to all of our videos. And there are special videos just for our members that go up every week. And make sure that you check that out. So that's some of the benefits. And there will be a code that I'll be releasing to all of our members that are in the top layer category so that you can get some money off one of those wonderful t-shirts that Amin is sporting today. And we will, for our U.S. and international customers, we'll be using Teespring. In Canada, you order directly from our shopthefirstlayer.com. We prefer to do it in Canada because the shipping rates are a little bit less than going to the States. And if you guys want one of these, which is our new sticker. Oh, let me see if I can get that right. There we go. If you want one of these, they will be going up on the site. And if you order a t-shirt, you'll get one free from shopthefirstlayer.com. If you just want the sticker, it's $1.50 plus shipping, which is basically the stamp in the envelope, $2. So we will get those up on the website. If you want one in the interim, just contact me through my email, richard@thefirstlayer.com. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to thank Amon Baines for taking the time out of his busy day and schedule to join us and talk about his product and hopefully educate you guys a little bit more. And we will see you next time right here on The First Layer. Remember that The First Layer is always your foundation to a great print. Bye for now.
Thank you.
And we're out.